The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the SDGs. But what are they and what do they mean to your business? The SDGs has become the #1 framework for businesses to align their operations with their sustainability goals. If you stick around to the end, I will give you access to our free tool where you can assess how your business is scoring in sustainability and the SDGs. There are 17 goals and 169 targets. And if you're thinking, well, but where on earth is this taking us? I want you to close your eyes and imagine a world where all kids can go to school, where the cities are filled with fresh air and less noise, and where businesses are thriving from creating solutions for the world to progress, but are doing it in a way where they are leaving resources behind for the next generations to come. Let's get the SDGs up on the screen. What you'll see is a general overview of the 17 goals. And if you're hovering over them, you'll get a brief description, but you can also see how many targets that are related to the respective goal. Goal #1 is no poverty. And what we can particularly see in the overview is a snapshot of what's happening in our world right now that are influencing the progress on this particular goal. So we can see things such as rising inflation and the impact of the war in Ukraine, which is influencing how people are trapped in poverty. There are several ways you as a business can adopt this goal. One way would be ensuring that people in your supply chain and inside your business are paid a minimum living wage. You could also invest in projects that are creating a safer environment for poor and vulnerable people by, for instance, investing in infrastructure if you are a construction business. The second goal is zero hunger and is effectively focused on achieving food security, improving nutrition, and ensuring sustainable agriculture. But what if your business are not necessarily working in agriculture? Well, there's still a ton of ways that businesses can get involved. You could focus on adaptation strategies and making sure that when floods and droughts are hitting a local area, it's still fit for purpose. Or if you're in education, you could do educational material around the value of nutritious and healthy food. Goal #3 is good health and well-being. Try and think about this in relation to the healthcare system. How can we make sure that those who need it get access to care and affordable medication? How do we make sure that we are having clean air in the cities and are reducing noise pollution? Goal #4 is quality education. A great way for businesses to think about this is to go beyond the thought of university. But how can you make sure that you are continuously educating your workforce, both within what's within their expertise and skill set, but also in areas such as sustainability and climate change? Goal #5 is gender equality. And a great way to achieve this is to make sure that there's a fair representation between genders within the workspace, but also age and ethnicity can play a role here. The way that we would usually look at it is by looking at census data so that you are mirroring a representation of the local environment within your business. Goal #6 is clean water and sanitation, and it's about ensuring availability and management of water and sanitation for everyone. Did you know that over the past 300 years, 85% of our planet's wetland have been lost? If we are to meet the 2030 targets for drinking water, hygiene and sanitation, we need to increase the pace of progress by 4 times. For businesses, this means making the most of water as a scarce resource, ensuring that processed water are cleaned from pollutants before it's ejected back into local water streams. Goal #7 is affordable and clean energy. And if there's one thing recent time has taught us all, it is that there is a need for businesses and governments to work together on finding green solutions that are avoiding greenhouse gases, but are doing it in a way where it's affordable for the people to switch on the light. Goal #8 is decent work and economic growth. It's important that businesses are making sure that their workforce feel valued, but also that there's actually work for everyone. Because with the recent rise in AI, it has challenged people to think that maybe they'll lose their job because their skills aren't valued anymore. And this is a job for businesses to build solutions around, even though we're getting smarter and more effective with technology, how we're making sure that we are having economic progress and getting people to work so we can take care for an increasingly older population. Goal number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And as climate change is hitting, it is a really important point for businesses to contribute in terms of developing better, reliable, and sustainable infrastructure that can help keep people safe. This is interesting because you might start seeing how that then relates to the target around well-being or decent jobs and economic growth. Goal number 10 is reduced inequality. So this is both within specific countries, but also between countries around the world. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates are all together sat on more wealth than the entire bottom half of America. With this in mind, it's important that we acknowledge that when it comes to economic growth, it's not to make the rich richer, but it's there to ensure that we can reduce inequality and lift the bottom half out of economic disempowerment and give them a decent living standard. But the goal is also there to make sure that we are promoting equality around areas such as sexuality, gender, ethnicity, religion, or people with disabilities. Goal number 11 is sustainable cities and communities. And it's really about making sure that cities are built to be inclusive and sustainable environments where people can thrive and walk around feeling safe. When it comes to cities and communities, there's so many things businesses can do to contribute, but also build the business that are thriving on this concept. One thing to look at could be, as people are moving to the cities and we are becoming more and more populated, this also comes with a challenge of waste. So what could a business do to look at how we are combating waste and doing better waste management within our cities? Goal number 12 is responsible production and consumption. And essentially, it's about not producing more than we need and doing it in a way where we are doing it as effective and sustainable as possible. As a business, this means looking at our entire value chain and making sure that when it comes to producing our raw materials, we're not damaging the rainforest or ruining the biodiversity. We're not polluting with our factories. When we're transporting goods around, we're doing it in the most effective ways and without creating a lot of waste when it comes to the end of the life cycle of our products. An example of this is around food waste, because did you know that 13.3% of food are lost before it even hits the end consumer? Goal number 13 is climate change, and is probably the most famous out of the 17 goals. For businesses, this means looking at their operations and the way they're producing goods and services and ensuring that they're not emitting more than necessary, because overall, the world is trying to achieve that we're not accelerating the temperature increase above 1.5 degrees. A lot of businesses are approaching this at the moment is looking at decarbonization projects. So finding solutions or ways of removing carbon from their production. Goal number 14 is life below water, and it is about protecting our oceans and its ecosystems. But what does this mean for businesses? It means that we need to make sure that we are not overfishing and overusing our ocean's resources, that we are not putting wastewater into our oceans or waste that we have generated within our business. Goal number 15 is life on land, and it is about making sure that we are protecting our beautiful nature and biodiversity. There are many areas to focus on when it comes to protecting our life on land and ecosystems. We need to focus on maintaining our biodiversity and restoring land that has been depleted. Around 40,000 species are at risk of going extinct in the next few decades. And that's why it's so crucial that businesses are seeing the opportunities within what can we do to restore natural ecosystems and not damage anything further. An example could be where you're getting your wood from. If you're getting it from the Amazon rainforest or Brazil, you might not even know, then could you change that in your supply chain? What are you doing in terms of local water streams? Are your production having any direct interference with this that you need to correct? Goal number 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions. As a business, this is about how we can help to promote peaceful and inclusive societies. How can we stop corruption and violence that are taking place around us by standing up and creating services and systems that are caring for the people? We made it to goal number 17, which is partnership for the goals. I think this one is exciting because it's a matter of finding ways where businesses can find solutions by collaborating with suppliers, with their local communities, with their customers in finding the best possible solutions. There's so many fantastic ways that businesses can use the 17 SDGs to accelerate their business and do good for people and planet. If you want to dive in deeper to how you can do it for your business in particular, go ahead and take our free ESG score test, which will give you detailed insights and actions that you can take moving forward. I have left a link for you in the description below. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe, and go ahead and watch this video where I'm talking about how you can use the SDGs to make great sustainability reports. Thank you so much, and I will see you there.